Today we're talking about the other offensive coaches and what will we learn about those guys from Hard Knocks. Stay with Boss Cowboy Sports where your voice matter. Let's go. Well, the last time, on the last video, we dealt with Mike McCarthy, Rob Davis, and we also dealt with Kellen Moore as the offensive coaches that we're going to kind of get a chance to peek under the hood in terms of Hard Knocks. Just as a very, very brief recap, we discussed the obvious stuff like, Mike McCarthy's winning record and kind of watching him work up close. We also talked about Rob Davis, who's his second in command, or if something ever happened to him, Rob Davis will step in and become the head coach. He specializes in leadership. His resume is impeccable when it comes to diversity, culture, leadership, understanding men, what makes his men tick. He's a special guy, and he's gonna stay in leadership training whether he's in football or not. It's a true passion that he is. He's truly somebody that's qualified to be called the hand of the king. And then we also talked about obviously Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore, we brought out on the last video that he's obviously pass happy. He was ranked second in pass attempts, even with backup quarterbacks. That's slinging it a little bit too much, but we gave him a slight pass and tried to bring balance to our analysis of Kellen Moore, because to his defense, which I explained on the last video, what was left of his offense except the perimeter weapons. So it could be too pass happy. It also could be from their thinking, well, our best guys are our perimeter guys, let's air it out. But that's a neither here nor there. That's another debate for another show, another video. I'm excited to get into the next guy. We saw this guy before under the Miami Hard Knocks when he was Miami's head coach, and frankly, boring, very young, like man, god dog, whew. Yeah, but I want to see him now as just normal old offensive line coach, because superb job. So we started the last video saying Boss Cowboy's philosophy is judge the coaches by the group. Nobody had a hand that was worse than him. No coach had a hand, maybe Doug. This man lost 80% of his starters. 2 of his tackles was undrafted. Ooh, wee! Just that alone, and he made it work. So he's a hometown Springfield, Massachusetts. 9 years with Green Bay, offensive coordinator for Green Bay, 2007 to 2011. The beautiful thing about him, when he's not the head coach, but whatever group he's coaches, they do well. They do well. I want to watch him up close. I want to learn from this guy. Joe, when he was the offensive coordinator at Green Bay, they was top 10 in the NFL every year. And he was the offensive coordinator for that Super Bowl team. If anybody remember, because I remember, they did some things that was different. First of all, they came out in 10 personnel in that Super Bowl. If anybody know what that is, that's 4 receivers. All right, they came out, if I remember correctly, the receivers was Donna Driver, White Lightning, Jordy Nelson, and Josh Jones. So yeah, and it was the philosophy of, well, our best weapons are the perimeter guys. Let's go win the game with them. And they did. They won the Super Bowl. And I mean, hats off to them, because that's kind of common sense, but common sense not all too common. How many times did we watch Garrett not do common sense? How many times? How many times did we see stuff like Dez one-on-one versus a rookie cornerback, undrafted, in his prime, and we kept running the ball? Stuff like that. You know, where we was too one-dimensional versus Joe doesn't seem that way. Joe seems to be a very common sense guy. I want to watch him up close. I want to see how my boy Joe thinks, man. I want to see him a lot closer in the room doing his job, man. Because where he really set himself apart 1,000% was when he made the executive decision to move Zach Martin to right tackle. He shocked the world with that, because so many Cowboy fans was super stubborn on switching. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all made me sick to my. I couldn't stand y'all. Y'all made me sick because y'all bought into this "you never move" offensive lineman philosophy. When you look around the league, and we talked about this all the time, especially when I was doing shows at West Coast. When you look around the league, a lot of teams cross-train their offensive linemen, and they do that for injuries, and in case things happen, you still want your best 5 on the field. So, and he did that. That alone, man. So anyway, moving to our next guy, and I'm interested to see Adam. But I'm going to kind of blow by Adam because I honestly feel like Adam, you know, his job is kind of a layup. Let's be honest. Your job is, I mean, no job is easy, but his job is, you know, I could coach those receivers. I really could. I know I could. But I'm very also interested in seeing him because, you know, I'll be honest, he a Texas boy. I got a Texas bias, so I want to see, you know, what the Beaumont guy does, and he has a long history of coaching receivers, so we gonna be able to kind of watch him. Now, this is the guy that I'm super excited for. My boy, Coach Wells. This man is a tight end savior. He far overachieved by a million miles. Because let's be all the way honest. Nobody expected Schultz to break out the way that he did. Nobody. If my memory served me correctly, Schultz had more penalties than catches before he got there. And Schultz turned up. Now people saying, could Schultz be tight end 1? You're going a little bit too far. He's a good tight end now, but no, he'll never be a tight end 1. At his best, he's going to be average. But I still like where he is. He was reliable. He had great yak. He played with swag. He played with confidence. I didn't see that. So when Doug was coaching him, he looked, can I be honest? I'm looking in your eye. Schultz looked entitled under Doug. It looked like Coach Wells came in and made that ball work. So, I mean, so when you look at him and you look at the way that he does his job, the out-the-box things that he does, you know, having the guys catch the tennis balls to work on their hand-eye coordination, man, this dude, I want to see him work. So since we getting ready to kind of, you know, we got to take a look under the hood, y'all get ready. I'm going to be all ears whenever this man speak, because I'm going to be trying to figure out what was your secret sauce to turning what seemed to be a bad pick to a good pick with Schultz. Like I ate some crow because of the job, and obviously you get Schultz credit. Sometimes these guys develop late, but like I said, I judge the coaches by the group. the group under Doug did not perform as well as the group with Coach Wells. All right. So next, obviously, we're gonna deal with also Coach Pete. All right. I'm not gonna act like I'm excited about Coach Pete, because I'm not. I feel like Coach Pete is a retread, a former coach that likely the Dallas Cowboys felt comfortable bringing him back, because Mike McCarthy seems to not want to hire so much from the outside, which I can kind of understand, because when you coaching and guys get away from you, they also walk away with your intel. So some of this stuff, people will look at it like my buddy, or they'll look at it like it's good old boys. Sometimes it's just informational intelligence defense that you're playing just to prevent your secret sauces and trade practice from getting out the building. So when I look at the group on him, I got to be honest. The running backs underachieved under him. Both Pollard and Zeke did not play as good. Both of them lost the ball way too much. They had their worst turnover years under him. So, and I got a bad feeling about him, and it's not just emotions. The feeling that I have is when I listen to him in his press conference, and the first words out of his mouth is, I'm watching Zeke to see what I can learn from Zeke. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, even if that's true, you don't say that. You don't say that. You have to hold yourself as a person of authority, especially dealing with superstars. To me, that sent the wrong tone. That was almost entitlement. That's almost like giving the impression, which it is true, but you're saying it's a privilege to coach Zeke. You don't want to treat stars like that. You don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm so when you saw the fumbling, it's likely because he too soft on the stars. Hard Knocks is going to reveal if my intuition is right. All right. And then we got my boy Doug. All right. Now Doug, I would say, I think he did a pretty good job with the quarterbacks. I think he did. I think given the circumstances that he was handed, shoot, man, you got to take your heads off to him, man. And then if he stay on the track he's on, he gonna be a head coach soon. I mean, because he's pretty much coaching so many different positions. He's becoming exponentially well-rounded. Now, I do have subtle knocks on him. It's not all peaches and cream. My concerns with him was, remember, I judge coaches by the group. So my issue with him is, even though it was a tough job, I didn't like the group performance of the tight ends when he was coaching them. I didn't. And it had a air of entitlement, and it lacked common sense. I saw way too many reps with Schultz when he was just not ready, and he didn't get him ready. He didn't get him to play bigger than he was. And even Jarwin started off extremely slow under him. And, Rico was never used in a common sense way. In my opinion, it was disjointed. So right now I'm 50-50 on him. Hard Knocks is gonna have to answer more questions about his coaching, because I do gotta say, yes, given the hand that you was dealt with the quarterbacks, great job. But you have a history that gives me pause. So that's pretty much the offensive coaches and what I want to see from Hard Knocks. So y'all also make sure y'all stay with us, and make sure you like and subscribe to Boss Cowboy Sports, because that's how we go get these videos out there. And if you have any questions, or you have any things that you want to see, put it in the comments, and it might be in the next video. because we're gonna be doing more and more videos, just getting everybody prepared for training camp and Hard Knocks. And what do you want to see? Just let us know right now. Tell us what do you want to see, so that we can, be prepared for it, and also maybe put that content together. But as you already know, stay loyal, never devoted.